if you look at Surah 156, it says that Surah 156. Surah 151, sorry. It says, they are in truth, equally unbelievers. They are in truth, equally unbelievers. And we have prepared for unbelievers a humiliating punishment. This is a punishment that has been prepared for what? Unbelievers. What does God gain from punishment in the first place? And if Allah does not gain anything from punishment, why would he punish unbelievers? Why would he do it? What is he going to gain by punishing them? You see what I just pointed out to you. Now, some people or some philosophers will justify it. Effort is being put in place to make the book solid, to make the book authentic, to make the book the word of what? Allah. That is what man is doing. That is what I'm saying, that allow Allah to be Allah. Allow God to be God. Allow Buddha to be Buddha. We have to allow the God, the powerful and great God, to be as powerful and great as he is. Just as every man, if you have a son and that son begins to show that he's strong, he's disobedient, you sort of allow him to you put him through the state and say, okay, you say you are a man of yourself, you are an old man of yourself, you are grown up now, okay, do whatever you want, go ahead, and you give him the opportunity, the chance to prove that he is really a grown up and an old man. The similar situation of that's how the let God be God sounded like to me, and that's how it sounds to me now. It is like let God be, and I'm sure that you have to allow your father to be your father. You give him that respect. You are giving him that the privilege that is due him. You're giving him the grounds and glory that he is due him, that he deserves to be glorified of. You are not trying. You shouldn't go about trying and making an effort to want to establish God as if he's a statue. That is wrong. You cannot establish God. You can't make him be like a statue. That's very insulting. And that is what I point out, that let God be God in this regard. That is what I support, the words that came, whether inspired by me, whether it was some, whichever way, spiritual influence, whichever way it is. I feel that it was necessary, and it is necessary for a man to allow God to be God, allow his God to be God. Now, it's not just easily saying it and that's it, but in application, I'm sure if you understand what I have said so far, an explanation I gave, then you see that in application, in the application sense, it might not necessarily look at the same, but when such statement is made, and we have to know that there are ways by which, when one goes through those ways, he is trying to make a person be as the person is. Just as you give opportunity to yourself or to your child or to anybody, it's the same way you have to allow God, because it's only through that you're able to establish and you're able to know God. You're able to see the evidence that you look out for to know that really God is really who he is. God is God. But if you look at these statements, which tells you that punishment, as if unbelievers should be punished, and it doesn't just stop there. It tells you it tells you even in it tells you on and on in it tells you in so many instances in the same in let's say 47, what God gained by your punishment. As we said, what God gained by your punishment. It is said here 47. But it is also pointing out that the unbeliever should be punished. Now, except for those who repent, mind, that's 146. Except for those who repent, mind their life and hold fast to God and purify their religion as in God's sight. If so, they will be numbered with the believers, and so will God grant to the believers a reward of what? Immense value. Because if you're not matching up, if you're not giving in to the right way, then you're due for punishment or hell. In verse 144, O ye who believe, take not for friends unbelievers rather than believers. Do ye wish to offer God an open proof against yourselves? Don't take unbelievers as friends. These are advices are coming from who? Allah. What can God gain? I've just read that. In 50, he says, those who deny God and his apostles, and those who wish to separate God from his apostles, saying, we believe in some, but reject others, and those who wish to take a course midway, they are in truth equally unbelievers. And he says, and we have prepared for unbelievers a humiliating punishment. So 50 to 51, 150, 151. If we look at 148, God loveth not the evil, not that evil should be noised abroad in public speech, except where injustice had been done. For God is he who heareth and knoweth all things. In 3, he says, in 153, he says, the people of the book ask thee to cause a book to descend to them from heaven. Indeed, they asked Moses for an even greater miracle, for they said, show us God in public. But they were dazed for their presumption with tender and lightened, yet they worshipped the calf, even after clear signs had come to them. Even so, we forgave them and gave Moses manifest proofs of authority. Somehow God gave them a sign and all that, and still they worship calf. They were that. The test was right there, as I'm saying here. Man is requesting that let God come out plainly. Show yourself publicly. Let us know. Let's believe the desire to know. And that is exactly what it's a test that you give God, that you don't expect that anybody else can do that except God, because he's the only one who can. The people of the book ask to descend to them from heaven. God should descend to them from heaven. Indeed, they asked Moses for an even greater miracle, for they said, show us God in public. Show us God in public. Understand? And this is how you want God to be God, because God can do all that. So you're putting it there for him to be. If we look at in 152, verse 152, it says, to those who believe in God and his apostle, and make no distinction between any of the apostles, we shall soon give their due rewards. For God is what? Of forgiving and of bearing. God is now blessing what? The believers who are repenting, those who are repenting. And we go on from all the way. We look at what do you call it? And 141. It says, these are the users who wait and watch about you, if ye do gain a victory from God. They say, we were not with you. But if the unbelievers gain a success, they say to them, did we not gain an advantage over you? And did we not guard did we not guard you from the believers? But God will judge the betwixt you on the day of judgment, and never will God grant to the unbelievers a way of triumph over the believers. A way of triumph over the believers. God will not allow the unbeliever